Imagine this. You go to the beach, work on your sun-kissed glow, and can't help but hear the sound of waves gently crashing. They call you closer until you're right at the edge of the receding wave. You take off your sandals because they wear socks and shoes to the beach and walk into the warm blue water. You wade in deep enough to be able to tread water comfortably. You sit in the rocking water, wondering how your life could possibly get any better than this, when all of a sudden, you feel something brush up against your foot. After letting out a totally not girly squeal and drawing some totally unwanted attention from fellow beachgoers, you scramble around trying to find the offender. Alas, you find it in all of its horrifying, absolutely disgusting glory, a plastic straw. While the use and disposal of single-use plastic straws may not be the only thing that pollutes our ocean, it is definitely something that is easy to change if we all make just a little bit of effort. Numerous big cities, countries, and even some states are taking initiative and beginning to battle this avoidable and planet-damaging dilemma by making the switch to a much safer and more eco-friendly alternative, paper straws. As a citizen of California, I have personal experience with these straw laws and have used paper before. Being from an area around San Francisco is quite common to head toward the city and see some big changes in plastic use. San Francisco businesses no longer use plastic straws and have converted to paper in recent years. Outside of California, a survey held in 2020 says that only 6 out of 10 people have used paper straws before. In regards to how these changes affect the environment, I've done extensive research on how plastic and paper affect the ecosystem. Now, I'm going to tell why we should switch over to using paper straws. Throughout the world, there is an excessive amount of plastic straws being used every single day. While there isn't currently a statistic for this number of plastic straws used worldwide, there is one number that stands alone. According to Sarah Bowman, an Aardvark Straws answer calls for paper over plastic. The US alone uses 500 million straws per day. That equates to 182.5 billion straws per year on a non-leap year. Now, you can't tell me that this isn't an astronomically large number of straws being used for an hour or two and then being disposed of without a single thought about what it's doing to the environment. According to Amy Coonan, in 2018, straws being used in bars, restaurants, and other hospitality locations take 200 years to decompose. That means that the first plastic straws from 1970 are still around and most likely can be found in the ocean. In fact, 50% of all plastic ever made was produced since 2004, according to Rob Vernon's blog on the website hosted by the Association of Zoos and Aquariums. Not to mention, plastic straws are among the top 10 items found on beach during beach cleanups. Now, I know what many may try to say. Plastic bottles are the real issue, not plastic straws. However, the bottles can be recycled, and people are more likely to consider recycling them considering that it is the social norm. The main issue with straws is their size. They are too small and lightweight to be recycled properly, so they often end up in the ocean, wreaking havoc on wildlife. And how do they get there? Human error. Lonely Whale reports on their page that about understanding plastic pollution that the offending straws are either left in the beaches, littered, or blown out of trash cans. The most concerning part is that as these plastic pieces break down, they release a chemical that originates from polypropylene, a petroleum byproduct that is essentially the same stuff that fuels our vehicles. Not only do they affect marine wildlife, the straws also have effect on avian species. It is projected by 2050, 90% of seabird species will have ingested plastic. Plus, they have found plastic in 94% of US tap water, which affects us directly. But how could paper straws help? There's a lot of stigma behind paper straws, especially by those who haven't even used them. Oftentimes you'll hear people complain that they dissolve too quickly. Yes, they do dissolve quicker than plastic, but that's kind of the whole point. The original paper straws did not last long at all, but in this day and age, that has changed. Manufacturers like Aardvark Straws have developed a paper straw that can withstand being used for at least a few hours. sometimes 2 to 3 hours, thus minimizing complaints about the floppy paper straw after a single hour of use. Besides the customer satisfaction being sometimes lackluster, think instead of the environment and those sweet baby animals. Unlike plastic, paper straws start to break down after only 3 days in water. Also, if you use a straw like aardvark straws, they feature an added bonus of being certified to work as compost, meaning that they would break down in soil in 20 to 30 days. As answered in Aardvark Straw's frequently asked questions section of their official website. So you know what this means? Not only do you not have to throw away the paper straws, you could use them in your garden to make your flowers look pretty. Now that you know the advantages of using paper straws as opposed to plastic straws, I hope you reconsider using that wasteful biohazard and instead grab that magically powered drink sucker that will actually be beneficial to the environment. Your planet needs you to make the right choice. Think of looking into organizations like Lonely Whale and their Stop Sucking campaign. You will learn a lot, just like I did. Just remember, choosing to use a single paper straw can save lives, while choosing to use a plastic one can kill them.